Okay, today we're going to learn how to make the perpendicular bisectors, construct midsegments, and construct medians. So let's go over how to construct a perpendicular bisector. We start with segment AB. I'm going to put my compass point on point A. I'm going to open my compass up so it's a little more than halfway the distance of the segment. I'm going to make an arc above all the way to below segment AB. And now I'm going to go over to point B, and I'm going to make the same arc from above to below. Those two intersection points are what I'm looking for, here and here. Using my straight edge, I'm going to connect those two intersection points. I've now bisected segment AB. I'm going to locate point D there. And I know that this is 90 degrees. So that's how we construct a perpendicular bisector. Next, we're going to use that technique to actually construct a midsegment. Now, a midsegment is part of a triangle, and what we do is we connect two midpoints of the midsegment. So I'm going to use the same technique and put my compass point on point D. I'm going to connect the midsegment from segment DE to segment EF. Thank you. So again, the same technique applies. I'm going to open my compass setting up so it's a little more than halfway. Same strategy. From point D. Now from point E. Now instead of drawing in the line, I'm just going to note where that mid-segment would go. So I'm actually finding the midpoint of segment DE. And we'll call this X. So segment DX is now congruent to segment XE. Now I'm going to do the same thing on segment EF. So from point F, and you can see this can start to get a little bit busy. So colored pencils can be your best friend here. Then from point E, and just you have to make a note of which point you want. And that's this one right here. So that's why colored pencils can be helpful. So again, I'm just lining up these two intersection points, finding the midpoint of segment EF. We'll call that Y. So segment EY is now congruent to segment YF. Notice I didn't mark that those two segments, those were all congruent because we don't know that. Now I'm going to connect point X and point Y, and I have constructed my midsegment. The midsegment has some special properties. The midsegment is half the length of the base it's opposite, and it's also parallel to that base. So if a triangle has three midpoints, how many midsegments do you think it will have? It'll have three midsegments. Alright, let's use that same technique and construct a median. The median goes from a vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. So I'm going to bisect segment JL to construct the median. So a little more than half. I need to open my compass setting up a bit. Same technique. Over to point L. Find those points of intersection. Use my straight edge to find that midpoint. Call that Z. So I know segment JZ is congruent to segment ZL, and I'm going to connect point Z to vertex point K, and that is the median.